Good morning. My name is Carla Anderton, and I'm an alum of the Writing Popular Fiction MFA program here at Seton Hill, where I also currently teach first-year writing. I also teach writing and communications at Westmoreland County Community College. A sort of fun fact about me is that I'm a recognized expert on Jack the Ripper, and well, before the pandemic, I traveled the country speaking about the elusive killer and his crimes. This brings me to a question that I'd like to pose to you. What is your biggest fear? Like me, is it heights? Or are you afraid of snakes? Perhaps you have a terror of being buried alive. Or, like most of the world, is your biggest fear public speaking? More people are afraid of public speaking than of any other phobia. And as a writer, if you hope to publish and promote your work, which is what we all hope to do as writers, you will eventually need to learn to speak in public, whether it's at a book signing or a book reading, or even an awards ceremony. And that prospect can be terrifying for many people. With that in mind, I've put together this presentation today to help you face your fear and improve your public speaking skills. For the next 45 minutes, I'll provide you with a formula to help ensure your success as a speaker. Let me ask you a question. Who can learn to speak in public? Well, the fact is, speaking in public is a skill, just like writing is a skill. And we know that anyone can learn to write, and as such, anyone can learn to speak in public. Consider the example of the film The King's Speech, when the title character, King George VI of England, overcame a stammering problem and successfully addressed the nation in a time of crisis. Consider the example of the current president of the United States, Joe Biden, who also overcame a stutter. And they did this by carefully planning their speeches and by employing the adage of practice, practice, practice. Let's start with what not to do. You may have heard that a good way to decrease your nervousness is to imagine your audience in their underwear. Forget this advice. This is a terrible, terrible idea. Never, ever, ever do this. Now, you might be tempted to have a drink beforehand or to consume some other mood-altering intoxicant. This is also a terrible idea. To be an effective public speaker, you need to be on your game. So here's some things that you should do. Get a good night's sleep. Take a hot shower upon waking. Eat a light breakfast, even if it's just a muffin. Resist the urge to over-caffeinate. Definitely stay hydrated and drink lots of water. Plan your outfit ahead of time and make sure you have time to iron it or steam it if necessary. If you wear makeup or shave, make sure you plan time for this into your morning routine. Wear comfortable shoes. Plan your route to the venue ahead of time. Ask yourself, will you drive or take public transportation to the venue? If driving, fill your vehicle with fuel the day before a speaking engagement. Make sure your phone and any other electronics are fully charged before you head to the venue. Arrive early. In public speaking, on time is late. If possible, practice your speech at the venue ahead of time so that you can ensure that all of your technology will run smoothly. And if you are using technology such as PowerPoint or another presentation software, practice your speech using your presentation to ensure fewer hiccups during your actual speech. Did I mention you need to practice your speech? But before practice comes planning. And planning starts with brainstorming. Everyone has a unique brainstorming style. Ask yourself, where do you get your ideas? And when do you get your ideas? Some people get their best ideas when doing light housework, or yoga, or jogging. Others might get their ideas while they're driving, or taking a walk, or even in the shower. When ideas occur to you, develop a system for getting them down, whether it's on paper or on your phone or some other device. Now, the question is, what should you speak about? Mark Twain famously said, write what you know. And the same thing is true for public speaking. Speak about subjects in which you are knowledgeable. And if you don't know about a subject, do your research. And we're back. Sorry, a brief technological issue. So, as we said, speak about subjects on which you're knowledgeable. And getting back to the idea of planning, plan your speech using an outline. Now, outlines can be either formal or informal. Informal outlines may consist of only a few keywords, whereas formal outlines require full and complete sentences. In public speaking, we have what we call the central idea and the specific purpose. Think of the central idea like you would think of a thesis statement if you were writing an essay or an academic paper. Support your central idea with specific details. Now, the specific purpose of your speech is what you want your audience to take away from your speech. And when planning, don't be afraid to revise and reorder your ideas. Also, don't be afraid to change your mind if you're confronted with new ideas or evidence. Confident public speakers convey their ideas in a manner that is credible to their audiences. But let's get back to practicing your speech ahead of time. Practice in front of your mirror. Practice in front of your pets. Practice in front of your friends and family. Additionally, record yourself giving your speech on your phone or computer and watch that recording more than once. Remember, nobody likes the sound of their recorded voice, so get comfortable listening to yours. This will help you to become a more confident speaker. Let's talk about some things not to do ahead of the speech or during the speech. Never chew gum, and don't drink coffee or soda while you're giving your speech. Make sure that you're going to stay hydrated and have a bottle or a glass of water nearby. When you arrive at the speaking engagement, go to the restroom, look in the mirror, check your appearance. This would be a good time if you're going to apply some sort of lip balm or lipstick to put it on. As you approach the stage or the podium, stand straight and tall. Walk with confidence. When you get to the podium, don't slouch. And carry a copy of your speech or your speaking outline with you, preferably on paper, because we know that sometimes electronics fail. Before you speak, take a deep breath. Count to 10 before you begin your speech. Thank the people or person who asked you to speak, and if anyone introduced you, thank them as well. Clearly state your name. Mention your credentials. What qualifies you to speak on this subject? Speak clearly and maintain that good posture. And explain briefly to your audience why you find the subject matter engaging. Remember, your audience likely wants to hear what you have to say. They're invested in your work and they want to be invested in you. During a speech, maintain a confident tone. Minimize hand gestures or talking with your hands. Avoid using fillers like or. Maintain an appropriate tone. Some speeches will necessitate that you raise or lower your voice to bring attention to specific ideas. Now, you will likely use some type of visual aid in your presentation. If you're using visual aids, make sure they're appropriate for the presentation. Apply the principle of less is more, or KISS. Keep it short and simple. Avoid using full sentences in your visual aids and avoid animation or flashy graphics. However tempting it might be to include these have been proven to just be a distraction to most audiences. During speech, get to the point quickly. State that central idea and specific purpose that we talked about early on. And use, during the speech, signal cues such as first, last, finally, and in conclusion to signal to your audience where you are in the speech. Use repetition sparingly. It's okay to repeat keywords and phrases for emphasis, but avoid repetition simply for the sake of repetition. Now, at the conclusion of your speech, you're going to thank your audience for their time and attention. Take any questions that they might have. Encourage follow-up questions. That is, questions that may come up after the event, and encourage them to get in touch with you so that you can answer those questions. And in order to do that, you're going to need to provide contact information. You can do this on a slide. You can do this by, passing out business cards, but get that information in front of them. And then finally, you're going to thank the organizer or the venue that asked you to speak. You're going to exit the stage or the podium with the same confidence that you approached it with. And give yourself a round of applause. You did it. you are well on the way to overcoming your fear of public speaking. I want to thank you for being with me today. I would like to provide you with my contact information as well as my websites. If you do have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Just shoot me an email or find me on Facebook, or fill out the contact form on my website, and I will be happy to get back to you. Again, thank you very much for your kind attention today, and I hope that you're enjoying In Your Right Mind, and I wish you all of the success in your writing.